Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the very first episode of All That with Dr. B. I am your host, Dr. Nashiba Bazi, a forensic psychotherapist and lawyer. Before we go deep into the podcast today, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am originally from the Caribbean, St. Kitts and Nevis specifically. And I decided to go into the fields of law and psychotherapy because those are the areas that I love. I believe that when in especially in the courtroom, we don't often take the time to look at how mental health play out in the courtroom or psychology play out in the courtroom. So as a forensic psychotherapist, I thought that was something that was very important for everyone. We go about our daily lives, and we often, a lot of us like to watch crime shows, but we don't really understand, like, even from the a simple stop. When you get stopped, the flashing lights, the blue and red flashing lights, how does that affect your life? How does that affect your mental health? Usually what happens is you see those flashing lights and you have a reaction, you panic, or you get anxiety, and that's a physiological effect that you're having. It impacts you, and in turn that means that it's also a psychological thing. And again, we don't take the time to just look at how those things affect us in our daily lives, and that's very important. Also, that how does that what does justice look like in our personal lives? We know what it looks like in the courtroom. We know what it looks like, and then it's about statutes and winning and evidence. But in our personal lives, personal justice means it's the way you treat each other, the mutual respect, the the way you understand, or the way that it's a concept where, hey, you know what, we're in this together, and this we're supposed to be this way to each other. We're supposed to be respectful. We're supposed to have an understanding, and that's what personal justice means in a relationship. So today, that's what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at how personal justice works behind closed doors. And before we go further, today's episode is brought to you, is sponsored by Quan Cottam. That's Quan Cottam. And he's a barber. He's in the Long Beach area. And you can find him on, what's that app? That cutting app. You can find him there. And I think I forgot the name of the cutting app, but there's a cutting app that you can find him on, and he's, again, like I said, he's located in the Long Beach area, and you can find him on Instagram at Quan Cudem. That's QUANCUTEM. And we are fortunate to have Quan be the sponsor of today's episode of All That with Dr. B. So they say you should never argue with a lawyer, and you definitely should not argue with a psychotherapist. And my guest today has to do both. He has to navigate arguments with both a therapist and a lawyer. And in order for us to analyze the outside world, we have to analyze and take a look at our own relationships. So today, I am taking myself off of the pedestal. I want to begin this podcast with taking myself off of the pedestal. I have the degrees and I have all of that, but I don't always have it together. I don't always have everything right. And even in my own relationship, there are imbalances. And every day we continue to work through difficulties. So I it's easy for me to analyze, assess someone's human behavior when it's not relating to my personal life. But when it relates to my personal life, I am human. I don't always know what to do. And so That's part of, I want you to be able to see that. And this is part of why my guest today is my partner who is going to come on this podcast. And we're just going to show you what that looks like, taking off everything and show you. Again, keeping in mind that we are humans. And even as a lawyer, even as a psychotherapist, I don't have it all together, like I said. And so let me introduce you to Chris, my partner, who is going to come and share this space with me. And I have promised him today that I will not cross examine him, I will not diagnose him, I would not put him in the hot seat. We're just going to talk. So, welcome to the podcast, Chris.
Thank you, Dr. Barger. Happy to be here.
Good. So I hope you don't think like I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. Well, you are in the hot seat, but I won't cross-examine you and I won't diagnose you. I have already diagnosed you, but I won't I won't give you a public diagnosing. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. So I wanted to have you on the very first podcast with me because, again, today's topic we're talking about, we're dissecting what personal justice look like. And when we think about justice on a whole, we automatically think about something having to do with law. And with my profession and my joint areas, which is law and psychotherapy or psychology, that's how, I become a forensic psychotherapist. So I want to be able to show the viewers and listeners that even with all those accolades, like you call them, I'm still not perfect. We're still not perfect, but that every day is, we work through things, and that's just what personal justice is. It's just that mutual understanding, that respect, that, just wanting to, the effort, the mutual effort that you put in and continue. And so I have some questions for you, but they won't be too difficult. Okay,
Okay.
you don't have to get scared. Don't you don't have to get scared.
No
They won't be
problem.
too bad. But
No
I just
problem.
want you. I just that's my honesty when it comes to me and personal justice, and just allowing people to know that yes, I have this podcast, I have these degrees, I have what seems to be this life, but I'm not perfect. And you would know that better than anyone else at this point. So my first question to you is this. As a forensic psychotherapist, as a lawyer, my work would involve me, or it dictates or requires that I kind of pull back the curtains of human behavior. And so that would mean that at some point, and within my work, or even on this platform, that would require me to maybe use some of our personal stuff as learning experiences or teaching moments or examples. How do you feel about me having to share some of our personal struggles, or just letting people into our personal life? How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't necessarily view it as a bad thing. It does show that people can learn from other people as opposed to we thinking that we always have the answer or solution for everything and we have no outside influence. It shows a lot of selflessness as opposed to being selfish. If we don't sit back and actually listen to other people sometimes, we
Mm-hmm.
don't learn a lot about ourselves. We think that we have all the answers and we don't. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to share, again, it's helpful for someone else.
So, one of the things that I was very mindful of, in coming up with the idea of doing this podcast, is that I always have to be mindful that we have the relationship, but then we have the individuals. There's you and there's me. So it's okay for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about our personal life on, whatever platform I may be in or within my work, but I still I want you to know that I'm still usually aware that hey, he has his personal life, his personal struggles. I have mine. And it's okay to kind of separate it, which is a must. Having to separate our relationship from your personal life, my personal life. And so that right there is what, in terms of personal justice, that right there, and just for the viewers and listeners, is exhibiting and showing that consent. I didn't have to say, hey, can I do this or can I say this, come to you. But I know that I still have to give you that, regardless of whatever is going on in our lives and regardless of how I may think as a therapist I can use it. I still have to take into consideration that that's your life. And not everything that happens in our life mean that I have all go to put it out there to the public. So, with that said, do you have any boundaries that you want to set with me as far as, hey, I don't want you to go into this or I don't want you to go into that in your on your platform?
Well, to me personally, I don't have any boundaries per se. Yet and still, some questions can be deemed uncomfortable, and some are just unreasonable. We all know that it's certain things that you do broadcast and it's things that you don't broadcast due to confidentiality between one another.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we won't get to that point due to everybody on the face of this earth has a level of privacy that should not be invaded for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they can be judgmental. And you don't want people passing judgment on you as you walk down and they're an absolute stranger and they're able to try to read you, but they don't know anything about you. They've only seen one segment of your life and they've just developed their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's just their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people in this day and age that we're in, they will misconstrue your words. They will take one word and use it multiple ways, but that's not the way you delivered it, nor that you meant it.
Okay. So, did I hear you say that you trust me to know what I should or could or say or where I could go with that? Did I hear you say this? Is that what I heard? Because that's how I'm summing it up.
I you have a green light. You have a green light.
Okay. And I appreciate you saying that because that tells me again that yes, we're both acknowledging that it's anything far from perfect. We have our imbalances, but at the same time, I think, like I said, I know, hey, I'm not just gonna go. This is not our friends, our peers, like you said, that we're talking to. This is the world. And I think what you're saying is, I trust that, you would know the boundaries without me even saying them. And you're saying, and I'm saying that to you, and you're saying, I have a green light, knowing that I will know the boundaries. Is that what you're saying? Because I don't want to.
That would be safe to say.
Okay. So, do you believe that? Do you believe that I'm unfair to you when we have arguments? Do you feel like sometimes, I know that sometimes because of my profession. Again, I'm a lawyer and a psychotherapist, and both of those, like you said, questioning. Do you feel that I there's an extra layer of pressure when it comes to like disagreements between us? Am I like a little bit too much, like putting you on the questioning you, just like
Has that ever happened?
no,
I would be.
no.
I'll plead the fifth on that one. I'll plead the fifth on that
Okay.
one. Yet and still, have I ever felt pressured? Yes, because there's been times to where I was afraid to be able to tell you a truthful answer, thinking that it may disappoint you and put you in a bad mental space because you're human.
Mhm.
And we are human, so we all make mistakes. And the thing is, we're not here to purposely hurt people. I don't feel that I am. I don't feel that she is. And hopefully a lot of you out there in your walk of life, you're not here with intentions to be malicious towards people. So with that being said, some answers I have felt and some questions I have felt that may be a little bit aggressive or have been aggressive. And then sometimes I had to recalculate my answer to make sure that it doesn't escalate to another problem, as opposed to tackling whatever that matter is at hand, so that we both walk away with a clear understanding and a mutual respect for one another.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then, do you think, like, when we have those difficult moments, we have our arguments, whatever you want to call them, do you are you saying then that no, I don't come off like the question and like the cross examining, and I don't do that, right? Do I?
I would say intentionally, 90% of the time, no. There's another percentage though where it's gotten a little tricky. It's gotten a little tricky because some of the verbiage that we've used, and it's not nothing to where it's vulgar, it's just the verbiage can be misinterpreted.
Mm-hmm.
So a person can feel like they're being boxed in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the case. So that's when you can ask me a question, and in return, I'll answer your question with the question.
Yeah.
And we still haven't got the initial question answered that you delivered to me. Due to either party, we want to have a clear understanding.
Yeah.
But also what it does though, it doesn't get any resolution, because now we're both answering questions as opposed to answering questions.
Yeah. The original question.
Correct.
And sometimes, I've heard you say to me, you're deflecting, or I've said to you, you're deflecting. And I don't think sometimes that it's always a deflecting thing. I think, like you said, sometimes it's like I may ask you a question, and sometimes you answer a question with a question.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were gonna say no. That don't work like
No,
that.
no. Yes.
And I think,
Yes.
I think sometimes we do that, and it's not always okay. But one thing I know is you tell me that I have a problem answering questions when you ask me questions, because I would say so much different things before I could answer the questions. And you know what? I think that's just a personality thing. I don't think that's me trying to deflect. I think that's just me. I'm a person who like details.
Mhm.
I always give you details, right? Even when you don't ask. And so for me, it has to make sense. So I have to ask all these million and one questions so I could get my initial question answered so it makes sense to me. That's not deflecting
No,
from
it's
you.
not deflecting. A person can perceive that as you're layering on, and it can be a simplified answer, but you still want more in detail. So it can get a little bit difficult
Yeah.
sometimes. And by the way, this is a wonderful Caribbean woman, so it's a little bit different trying to get into the learning process of how our conversations are going or can go due to different cultural bases.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the cultural stuff, because we're gonna get to that, right? I have to mention that, because I'm gonna tell the world what you said about my culture. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
See, this is
I'm
what we were
just
talking
kidding.
about
I'm just
earlier.
kidding.
People gonna approach me out here in the street and they're
I'm
gonna
just
feel some
kidding.
type
I'm
of
just,
way.
hey, with all them Caribbean people gonna be like, so you said what about our culture?
Right.
No, okay. So that's one of the things we have had to navigate, the cultural differences. Because there was a point where earlier on in our relationship, I thought like, you know what? Oh, you just gonna talk bad about my culture? You just gonna tell me I don't know the meaning of a certain word? And I'm like, well, you do know that words have different meanings, right? Remember those times when
Right,
we would
right.
go through that, and I'd be like, well, what does your dictionary say? Did
Now, who would say that?
you? Me. I would say that.
I'm pretty good with that
Because
dictionary.
no, because you would want to tell me, oh, this is what this word mean, and I'll be looking at you like, he think he's the only one who know what a word mean. And then I think for you, it was just like, why is she saying that this would mean this and this would mean that? And I said, well, that's what it means for us in the Caribbean. How
Right.
how did you feel about those times?
Well, I took in consideration from y'all history, so we'll get to that portion in a minute. as you said. But what it is just having a misunderstanding of, the school system is different. So natural dialogue from person to person is different. So even the pronunciation of a word, it's different. So when you put it into the context that you were put it in, and then we're having a discussion, and it could be something to where we're not seeing eye to eye, I'm feeling, okay, well, now we're at a communication block because this is not what that means at that time. But in essence, from your upbringing, it does mean that. But we're on two different continents when we're talking at that time. So that's why it's kind of interesting where we have to meet in the middle.
And you know what? That is a good point. I'm glad we touched that because there's so many people, interracial couples, and people who are from different cultures who have relationships, and that's one of the difficult things in those type of relationship. And I didn't realize that it would be so difficult until we started having our little disagreements about what a word mean. When I say I remember that time when I called you on the phone and I said hello, good night, and you were like, what, good night? Why are you telling me? You called me just to say good night? I was like, no, it's a greeting. Like, tell me about that. Like, why did you think like I was just
because
calling?
it was evening time, and I was like, okay, well, you said hello, okay, hello, and good night, okay, good night. And then you proceeded on to have conversation with me, and I'm like, but I thought you were saying good night.
Good night. I know, but see, these are the little things that we had to kind of like navigate because that's just what we do. It's a thing of it's respect. You call someone's phone, you don't just like call and be like start talking. You gotta be like hello, good night, good morning, whatever. But I think you weren't used to hearing that. You said that I should say good evening or something.
Yeah, well, it was afternoon, getting ready to go into the evening, but you classified it as good night.
It
I'd
was
say it's
night.
afternoon.
No, it
Or
was
it's
night.
evening. Well, it
It
was
was
evening. I'm sorry.
already
No, it
night.
was evening time. It wasn't nighttime yet. It was evening time.
But and then you asked me about, well, when is it nighttime? We had all those little conversation, and you know what? That can be frustrating for couples because it's like sometimes I felt as if I was being misunderstood, and you would wonder why I keep asking you a question or something, or why I seems upset. But it's frustrating when I'm trying to talk with you and then you don't understand. Like, you know, sometimes I don't remember that we don't say or use words the same because I could say the same sentence as you and it means something different the way I say it.
Right, like how we had previously
Yeah.
just got discussed. The thing is, again, you have to take yourself out of it and then put yourself in it. Open your mind and your ears up, and then you can start to learn more about, and that's with any person in any walk of life.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with one person on a one-on-one basis, you have to pay attention to the details, my opinion, due to if you keep operating the way that you were previous to meeting this person, you're kind of leaving yourself stuck and stagnated, and you're not open to new things that can broaden a lot of your horizons. Because at that point, it's kind of like as if you just plateaued out in life, as opposed to still on the incline.
You know, one of the things I like about being from different countries, different culture is when I start talking to you, you don't understand what I'm saying. That's a good thing sometimes. But I realized that you start picking up on a lot of that.
Because I started paying attention to the details. And I mean, just think, it's still times that you'll ask me something and I'm like, yeah, sure.
You
And I don't have no idea what you said.
You don't even
But
understand.
like, yeah, just it's
nothing.
cool. Yeah,
I
whatever
know.
you said.
I could say the worst thing to you and you're like, yeah. And I know when you don't understand too, because I'll be like, do you understand me? And you're like, yeah. I was like, no, you didn't even understand nothing. Has that been frustrating for you?
No, actually, it hasn't. It's been actually kind of comical. The
Why
reason why,
comical?
because you'll laugh after you ask me again, you sure you know? And I'm like, yeah, I know. Just Whatever you said, it's cool.
And you have no idea.
Right. I don't. I don't. I could have made a bet that I should have made a bet with you on.
So then, why do you say yes? And you know what? The thing is, you don't say no. You say yes to it, everything, all, when you don't even understand.
Because when you're engaging in day-to-day contact and activities with a person, it'll go back to the beginning. You don't want conflict. So whatever it is, if this can be something that can help for conflict resolution, even though it may not be no conflict, it's just one of those things like, okay, well, you're used to saying yes to because you want that other person to feel more comfortable. So that if you do happen to say not right now or no at any given moment, it's not one of those you always say no. You always no. I always say yes, but I just happen to say no this time.
But no, do you feel more comfortable saying, no, I don't understand? Or you still think you're just going to be like, yeah, I got it?
No, I will ask you in a heartbeat. What'd you say? I'm gonna ask you.
But you only ask
What'd
me.
you say?
No, you only ask me like that when you think I said something smart. You'll be like, what'd you say?
Right.
But if it's not like, if you don't think like, take it that I'm saying something smart, then you're going to just say, yeah.
Yeah, if I don't deem it to be like you over here saying something like on the slide, go ahead. You say whatever you said.
But that's the good thing, though. You don't know if I'm saying something on the slide.
I just look like this. I know.
But no,
I know.
There's
Don't
still.
get confused. I know.
What would indicate to you that I'm saying something on the slide?
I call it like a temperature check.
Okay.
If the temperature is like lukewarm water, I have nothing to be in fear of. If it's cold, I really don't have it. But if that temperature of the water is starting to get towards the scalding, yeah, it's a little different. You need to go ahead and check, but verify what was being said.
What does that look like?
Looks like interaction with any other household. If you let it get out of hand, it can go negative real fast, and it's hard to repair something like that due to now you taking, for instance, someone's pride that takes into place. And typically when people put pride into a difficult situation, neither person's going to budge.
Yeah. Stubbornness.
Very correct.
You know how I say, oh, you think you're stubborn and I'm stubborn.
Right. And then with that being said, now so much time elapses and there still wasn't any conflict resolution that was implied. So now it's just basically a lot of time is just elapsed and nothing positive came out of it.
You know, one thing I learned from you in terms of conflict, you know, when we have conflict, you said this to me one time. You said, well, Nishiba, like, what are we working towards right now? What are we doing? What are we trying to solve here? And you said to me, basically that if we're going to have a conversation about whatever it is we're dealing with, the goal is for conflict resolution. And I have used that. I've thought about it, you know, in other times when we've had conflict. And I've thought about that even in my own practice. It's like, okay, well, when I'm working with couples, you know, giving advice on that level, I'm thinking, okay, well, what are you working towards? Are you just asking questions? Are you just having an argument just for the sake of having an argument to continue the fight? Or are you doing all this dialogue to, you know, have to solve the problem? And so what is one way, you know, share with me, you know, somehow how you have grown, whether it be mentally or emotionally, from our interactions.
Well, first and foremost, keep your tone civil. It's really no reasoning for two people to escalate as far as optic levels, because now we're just trying to talk over each other and at each other as opposed to with. And then if it's like that, okay, one person still feels angered or bothered or they want to be aggressive, there's nothing wrong with just trying to de-escalate it. And if that's not working, I would suggest just step back, take a break. I'm not finna argue with you. I'm not finna argue with you.
Mm-hmm.
I be running around here with high blood pressure. No, that's not gonna happen.
You sure you don't have high blood
I
pressure?
don't.
You know what? I don't know why you don't have high blood pressure. I mean, we need to go check that because, yeah, you probably should.
Oh, doctor said I'm good. I forgot the last number that they said. I just went earlier this year, but no, I was good.
Okay,
I was good.
we gotta do
I was
it. We gotta
good.
check that again.
I'm good.
So I also want to bring up something very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a book,
Mm-hmm.
Let Love Be Love, Love After Sexual Trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember times when I would question myself. I'd be like, maybe I shouldn't put this out there. Maybe I shouldn't put my personal, such personal stuff out there
Mm-hmm.
to the world. And I remember you telling me, no, it's okay, go ahead. And so you gave me that encouragement and that consent to include you, my experiences with you in that book. What were your thoughts on that? Like, why did you first of all, why did you give me consent to use your real name, in my book, talking about sexual trauma?
Because it's a real book.
Yes.
There's not fictitious characters in the book. You're talking about you.
Mm-hmm. And you.
Then you included me as one of the key factors by you being able to overcome certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was all aboard on that. Like, I don't have an issue with that
Mm-hmm.
because that is something that's inspirational for people. So it's one thing if it's a fictional character, and then some people can still say, oh, that was a great read, but who is this person? But then if they say, hey, that's a great read, who is that person? Be like, I know him. I really, really know him. That's a real person. And they're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it helps with you, to me, it
Mm-hmm.
helped with you on being able to dial in on what you were trying to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
and being able to present certain things to people
Yeah.
to show them like, hey, there is a way out to overcome certain things. You don't have to bury that within yourself
Mm-hmm.
and just walk around with it, that heavy bag. You can lighten that load up.
Yeah. We are going to have an episode on sexual trauma. Maybe I'll invite you back then. But right now, because we've talked about it, about the whole book and the experience of that, but I sometimes I think about it still, and I still feel sometimes like I would think about it, what I wrote, and sometimes I still have anxiety. And I mean, I don't know if you even ever read the book. You probably didn't, but that tells me
Go ahead. Good to
you never
you.
even read the book.
You don't know
But
that.
no, okay, tell me something that's in the book.
You were
See?
getting ready to say
No.
something else. Look.
I know. Okay, we're not
You
going
play
to
too
stick on that.
much.
Okay, but I sometimes still think about it, and I remember asking you one time, what were your thoughts on my initial reaction to you? The reason I wrote the book about the sexual trauma. Okay, I'm going to just give a little bit more explanation. Anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people out there who suffers, who deals with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other for so long,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't know me on that level to know, okay, whether she has anxiety or depression or anything. You just knew me as Nashipa, right? And so when we had our first, technically our first, after we reconnected, and that was my reaction to you, where you explained it as my body shaking. I explained it as my body shaking. What were your thoughts at that time? Because you knew nothing about no sexual, none of that. But
Well,
what were your
I
thoughts?
didn't know about it with you
Mm-hmm.
due to, because I
Yeah.
just didn't know.
Yeah.
But I went to school and I paid attention to a lot of details. And I know quite a few people in life that some have shared that experience and some haven't. And you have to learn how to approach people as opposed to just walking up to a person and feeling that you know everything.
Yeah.
So when you start paying attention to the details in a person, then you view things differently.
Mm-hmm.
You view things differently as opposed to, hey, I'm just going to walk into this interaction with this person like as if I just know everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, this person is completely different from that person, and so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. No one on the face of this earth is the same. That's why we
True.
all have none of the same fingerprints. We're all completely different people.
True.
We have similarities, yes, but we're different.
Yeah. So at that time, did you think I was having? Do you even?
Well, I knew it was something that was either um, remindful in a sense, but not necessarily in a nervous to where it was uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
but it was something that triggered.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been the lighting, it could have been a TV sound, it could have been a numerous amount of things,
Yeah.
but I had noticed it. So that's why I just paid attention to try to calm you or soothe you so that you can relax and feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. But I know, like I said, I'm not going to go deep into it on this episode about sexual trauma. We'll have an episode dedicated to that, and again, I'll probably invite you back so we can go into more on that because I don't know if I've ever said it to you, and if I have never said it to you, then I'm saying it to you publicly right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is you changed something for me that time
Mm-hmm.
when you asked me, may I touch you? That was a game changer because that in itself showed me respect, and that was you asking for my consent. Consent is huge. And even though, like I said, we had known each other for like what before that? Like more than what, like 15 years or so?
Somewhere roughly around there.
But you still asked me, may I touch you? And that was huge. What did that mean for you at that point? Like my reaction to that? Or did you even realize what my reaction was? Because it wasn't words.
I, I kind of felt at that time that, say, like if you were in a house,
Mm-hmm.
like a scenario, you're in a house and somebody has the heater on and you're still keeping your jacket on.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else has no jacket on, but you still
Yeah.
choose to keep a jacket on and you're sweating, and people are saying, "Are you hot?" And you're saying, "No, I'm cool." No,
Yeah.
you're sweating. You're hot.
Yeah.
So why aren't you taking it off? It's as maybe you warm up to the people in the room,
Yeah.
conversation, things of that nature. Now you feel comfortable with taking your jacket off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I felt in a, for lack of better words, scenario based.
Yeah. And again, today's topic, we're talking about personal justice, and that's an example of personal justice in a relationship. It's just having that mutual respect, that asking for consent. Because, and again, you know what my dissertation was about, marital rape and all that stuff, and so consent is very huge. So thank you for doing that.
Oh,
For
no
don't don't
problem.
don't don't
No
start don't
problem,
start
Dr. Barnes. Oh, you wrote a
Don't start.
dissertation? Okay,
Don't stop.
okay. Yeah,
Don't stop. Don't
yeah.
stop. No, but thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, thank you for that. And in spite of whatever may happen or whatever happened, thank you for that because that was huge for me, for my healing. And so you'll always be a part of my growth for that reason. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So, is there anything you want to ask me? I know I'm the host, but I am giving you an opportunity to ask me a question if you have something you would like to ask me. Because I got more questions for you, but I just want to give you a breather.
Um, no, that's a good question. I wasn't prepared for that one. Let's see. Let's see.
But if you take too long to think, that means no.
No, no. I probably did. I just have to think of one. Just
Okay,
you
okay.
know, that just comes into my head. What made you want to develop a podcast?
So, again, my daily life is working with people, analyzing human behavior, just talking with people, helping them through difficult moments in their
Mm-hmm.
lives. And I'm going to be honest with my answer. I'm a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a black Caribbean woman. And I don't think we have these platforms that kind of like speak to us.
Mm-hmm.
we tend to, you know how we feel. Well, not we, but I'm just gonna say we,
Hmm.
including myself as part of the Black culture, the whole Caribbean culture, everything that we have this thing about keeping our personal life inside. While we do that, that's okay, that's important, but at the same time, how are we helping each other? How are we learning from each other? Because we have this culture of secrecy, and this is where a lot of things go on. We hear about, incest, we hear about human trafficking, we hear about sexual assault. We just have so much that we think that we're not supposed to take our stuff outside. We're not supposed to go talk to a therapist.
Hmm.
We're not supposed to go talk to our friends. Sometimes that's a good thing. Don't talk your business with your friends or whatever, because that could go left, right?
Hmm.
But then we still need that support. So I thought that if I could bring my work into something like this, a platform where I'm not speaking directly to individuals. Like, I'm not saying this message is for you, Chris, or this message is for Chrissy or whoever. It's what we all go through stuff. So if I can just like have these messages and have these talks, and people out there can relate to it, it can
Hmm.
reach more people, and
Hmm.
we can still. It's not. And this may be a perfect time for me to say this. Please don't take, for the viewers, for the listeners, nothing I say on this platform should be taken as legal advice or any clinical advice, or that it creates a therapist client relationship or lawyer client relationship. Please let me say that now. But it goes back to me saying, if I can have this platform, like stuff like this, we there are people out there who may hear something that you said, that I said, and talk about personal justice, the topic. We're showing in real time what that looks like in spite of whatever is going on in our life. I think that that's what the world need. And remember, I started out this podcast today saying, I'm taking myself off the pedestal. I don't want people to look at me and think, oh, she's telling people how to live this or do this, but her life ain't perfect. My life is not perfect.
Hmm.
So my relationship is not perfect. So I am letting people know that it's the real world. And you may not have the money to get therapy, or you may not be able to do a group or whatever, but you can tune into all that with Dr. B and get some knowledge, some information that would be helpful. That is why I decided to start this podcast and have it
Hmm.
available for anyone, no matter
Understood.
the race, background, culture, nothing. So I know
Understood.
I like to blah blah
No, no,
blah.
you're fine.
Did
You're
I answer your
fine.
question?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay.
Do I have any other questions? Not at this moment. Not at this moment.
Okay.
If one does come, I'll let you know.
Okay. You can ask. You got maybe about two more questions you could ask me.
All right, no problem. That'll be three. That's the three wishes from the genie bottle. No
Okay.
problem.
So now let's go into the. It's gonna. I mean, you may want to take another drink because we're going. You need something else in your glass, because you may need a little more something in your glass. So I'm going to just tackle it.
Hmm.
So I remember when one time I was talking with someone about betrayal,
Hmm.
infidelity. And when I talk about different topics, like, it doesn't have to be infidelity. It could be anything. I'm not a drinker of alcohol.
Hmm.
Just simple stuff like that. But I find that people would ask me stuff like two different ways. Well, how can you help people if you don't know what that's like? If
Hmm.
you don't do it, if you've never experienced it? Or how can you um counsel people if you have your own struggles? And this go back to your question that you just asked me. Yes, I have my own struggles, and I can honestly tell you that, yeah, I've been through that, so this is how I work through it.
Hmm.
Because therapy is not about fixing you or fixing anybody. It's about me having the skills, the knowledge, and, you know, the tools to help you go through that process, whatever it is in your life. So when people ask me that question, or when people say, how can you, or how dare you tell somebody this and your life is this, and this is part of why I wanted you as my first guest on this platform, to just, hey, no, we are a work in progress. So I anticipate that there will be times when I will be asked direct questions like, how did you work through some difficult thing that you and your
Hmm.
partner had to go through? So I'm going to be honest in my question, you know that, in my answer. And this is not the same question that I asked you earlier, but would you be comfortable with me and my honesty in answering any of the viewers, the listeners who ask me if I have experienced any of the topics that I'm having on this platform?
Well, there's a yes and a no to it because it's a fine line. Because some people can ask just for to gain knowledge, like, oh, okay, well, this person can't ever say that they didn't go through this.
Mm-hmm.
Or another one can be like, okay, well, since she did go through this or has gone through this, however they want to,
Yeah.
verbalize that I can probably listen and hear the path that she took, even though that the person that they're dealing with is
Mm-hmm.
completely separate because me and that person aren't the same.
Yeah.
You and her aren't the same
Mm-hmm.
people. But it can just give them a little bit of awareness of
Mm-hmm.
things that potentially could be patterns that they didn't notice
Yeah.
or um, help them make a decision on whatever they need to do about that situation.
Mm-hmm. But I think you didn't fully answer. How do you feel about me answering anyone honestly
Well,
about any topic that I bring up? Let me explain this. Let me explain a little bit more because I feel like it
well,
is.
I don't have an issue with that per
Okay.
se because it's reality. It really happened.
Okay.
Whatever it is that if you are giving someone an answer to
Mm-hmm.
and they say, have you been through it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't fabricate stuff. We've
Mm-hmm.
all said something that may somebody can deem to where it is a lie, but it's not. It's just how
Mm-hmm.
they view it. But nah, you're a pretty truthful person.
Mm-hmm.
So it can, it can help a person. So I don't feel negative or fearful of it.
Okay. That was important for me to know and ask again because I want to be respectful of your life as well and my life. But at the same time, I'm not going to be having a podcast and someone's going to ask me, hey, Nashiba, have you ever experienced that? Have you ever been through that? And I'm going to say, no, I'm going to be honest about it
Hmm.
because I think that that's what my entire brand is about, and just being able to help people through things. And if I can help someone go through, help them process something and go through it and get to the other side of it, that's what I will do. But I want you to know that I am not going to put myself in a situation where I feel like it would be triggering for me in a way that I cannot assist someone, because I take the time to take care of whatever healing I need to do. I think that's something you know about me, right?
Right. Well, I would think that you wouldn't put yourself in a compromising position for a
Yeah.
person to actually back you in a corner to say, hey, this, and now you're getting ridiculed
Mm-hmm.
or you're getting pressured.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can't think thoroughly on how to assess or answer
Yeah.
whatever it is that this person or people may
Mm-hmm.
be asking.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I tell you whenever I'm doing anything, I say, I'll trust me. If I come to the point where I'm actually doing it, I have already spent a lot of time thinking it through, putting it together. So to arrive, I mean,
Oh
why
man.
you laugh?
Because something came into my
Tell
head
me, share
when
what came
when
into
when,
your head.
when she asked would I have a problem with someone asking her something that she possibly have went through. I was tell him, ask me. Tell him, ask
No,
me.
but no, I won't tell him
I'm
to
just being,
ask you.
I'm being funny.
I'll answer,
I'm being funny.
because I'll answer from my own experience,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay for me to share my experience,
Right.
with people, because I have this thing as a therapist. If I want to have people come into my office, my space,
Mm-hmm.
and be vulnerable with me and tell me the most deepest secrets. And you know what? The good thing is, this is why you should have a anyone out there still considering whether they should have a therapist, you should have a therapist, because you know what? Your therapist can't tell your business. Your friends can, but your therapist can't. So you probably should get a therapist, right? So if I expect people to come and trust me and, be vulnerable with me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pretend that, oh, I'm up here and they're down here. No, we're right here, same level. I'm here with you, you know?
Okay.
I'm here with you, and I'm going to be honest about whatever it is. Now, there is such a thing as a therapist as boundaries. We can't just go telling our clients, oh, you know what? This happened to me last week. That's not how that goes. Again, I will have to ask in certain situations if I think that something I have experienced would help a client or some, I'm just going to say a client, because if it's ethically, if it's that, I can't just like, you know what? If I'm having a session, oh, girl, guess what? Such and such happened last week, and you won't believe this, that. No, that's not how that works. You still have those professional boundaries, those ethical boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So just know that I am aware of all the boundaries, but I just wanted to know, as again, personal justice,
Mm-hmm.
what are our boundaries in, how do we protect our space, our peace, even with this platform?
Well, even with that, I would say people just to also be mindful of what they're asking. And then you are at no, because every person has a boundary. I consider it to be personal space. It's like
Yeah.
if you're walking in public, you don't just walk up to a person's personal space and start bombarding them with questions and answers. You don't
True.
do that.
Yeah.
You have to respect it. So people sometimes, I think, in this day and age, need to be a little bit more mindful, because you know what my cliche is, right? Do you remember it?
You have many.
Well, one of
Which
them,
one?
I'm scared, people be taking stuff. Respect is given when respect is given.
Oh.
And that just goes a long way if a person sits there and repeats that. Respect is given when respect is given. Because how am I supposed to automatically give you respect and you're an absolute stranger? I don't know what you're capable of. I know nothing about you.
Well, we've had our little bouts about that. Respect is given when
Right.
respect is given, right? You've said that to me, and I say it back to you like, yeah, respect is given when respect is given. When you give me respect, I give you respect.
Right.
But you know what? The thing is, in relationships, I think morally, I think it's just an unwritten rule that you are supposed to respect each other. I shouldn't have to tell you, hey, you should respect me. You shouldn't have to tell me, hey, you should respect me. Because we should know that that's a thing. That's one of the unwritten rules. And you sometimes say, where's the rule book for that? Or where's the rule book for that? I was like, life.
I want to see this rule book on this stuff, man. This stuff that we call life. Please, somebody show me this rule book, please, because certain things can be done multiple ways. Where is there one rule saying that this is the way that it has to be done to make another person feel at ease? That's where it gets a little tricky, because if I'm going to do it the way that I'm comfortable with and I think that it should be adequate enough, it may not be good for you. You may feel like, hey, no, you need to do it this way. So now we're on two different things about one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then where's the rule book in?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you feel it should be done your way and I feel it should be done my way, okay, where's the referee? Where's the rule book? I need to know.
That part. That's a very interesting thing. And that's another episode, another topic, because I have had to go through that with you and had to come to that understanding as well. Because you know what? One time you said something to me. You say a lot of things to me that I reflect on, even if I'm not doing it right in front of you. And I think maybe sometimes I think being a therapist, like you getting the best of uh, all of it. Because as a therapist, I think I look at things differently when
Mm-hmm.
I really sit down. And sometimes I'll be like so mad, and then I sit down and I reflect and I use my therapist lens, and then I have to be a little bit more forgiving. But one thing, as humans, I say this, and this is because of our situations that we've been through. Like you said, if you do something to you, you're doing your best to appease me, but that may not be how I want it. But that's not saying that you're not trying, right? And I have to give you that because you say something, stuff like that to me. And so I had to stop looking at it like, okay, this is, if he doesn't give it to me the way I want it, then he ain't giving it to me at all.
Oh, well, I was
No,
supposed to say something. No,
I
I'm letting you go.
smile. You
You
know what? I
go.
smile and I look at it because
You
I'm like,
go.
maybe I shouldn't tell him this, all of this stuff.
Hmm.
But it's the truth though. It's reality because it's like if it brings me back to what I said about my culture. When you told me, no, this is how that's pronounced, or this is what that means. And I feel like, no, no, it has different meanings. So I cannot then expect you to give me something the way I need it, especially if you don't even know what I want. So how am I, if I don't tell you what I want, how would you know? And you've said to me like, this is how I know how to do this or this and this, right? And so I have to respect that. I may not always like it, but
Yeah.
I have to respect it.
Well, the key thing in that, to me, in my opinion, it would be communication. Is communicate, and things can go a lot more smoother
Mm-hmm.
than making assumptions. Because
Mm-hmm.
assumptions are they're they're not positive communication tools.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that shouldn't even be in the tool bag. An assumption.
Assumptions? No, assumptions can be good at times.
Well,
No,
you
you
know
don't
that
like them.
acronym that they use for that
Yeah,
too.
well, we're not gonna go
All
into that,
right, you know that
but you know what?
acronym.
Assumptions, yeah, we can have assumptions. Like we have inferences in court, And I think you know what? I think you like to put me in the therapist chair and in the courtroom when we have our personal stuff. Again, we're
Well,
talking about personal justice. You would tell me, I think sometimes you do this to me, and that could be a little bit. Now, I got to find a word for it. You going to say to me, you're a therapist, right?
all right, I do periodically, not often, but do you know why I do that?
No,
Would you like to know?
maybe not right now.
Okay, all right.
But listen, but
We'll say
listen.
that'll be another one.
Another episode. But listen, that's one of my questions. Do you believe or feel like you put some extra pressure on me because as a lawyer and a therapist, I should have it all figured out?
No, because you're human. I
Okay.
don't do that. What I do think that I'm doing sometimes, um, and it may just be subconsciously, but I'm doing it. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of oxymoronic because I'm subconsciously doing it
Mm-hmm.
um, with no intent.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm doing it with intent
Yeah.
to get you to just open up another panel in your brain to just view it a different way. No, seriously, this is with all due respect. This is
Which
no,
panel?
I don't know. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm gonna find it for you though. I'm gonna find it. Don't worry about it. But it's just to possibly assess whatever it is in a different angle,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it may be more beneficial. I don't know, but just so that you're not kind of just going down a narrow path, just try to widen the path up a little bit.
How much wider can my path be? Like,
No, it just depends on whatever the situation is at the time. That's what I'm saying. So I'm doing it because I want you to be able to obtain as much information and knowledge and be able to utilize it as possible.
so I'm gonna say this. don't take it in an offensive manner, and to the viewers, listeners, don't take it in an offensive manner as well. Sometimes when you say stuff like that, I admit I would be offended because I think sometimes that, and I'll tell you, like, I'll bring my culture up again, and I'll say, "Oh,
Mhm.
you think because I'm from the Caribbean, I don't know this and this and this," and I'm and I'm like,
Okay,
"Oh,"
okay.
and then I
So,
say sometimes to you, "Oh, because that's the American way, right?" Now, when we have our little, balls like that,
mhm.
I'll be serious sometimes. Sometimes I'll be joking though. Sometimes I just wanna, I say it, but sometimes I'll be serious because I'm like, you want me to do this, and I feel like sometimes you just want me to be the American way, and I
No,
can't.
not really. No, look, Americans watch it too. You look,
That's what I'm saying. I don't mean
you
I
better
don't.
start no
It's not.
stuff.
I'm not starting nothing. I'm
You
not
better
starting
start no
nothing.
stuff.
I'm just having a moment with him because he says that to me, and as you can tell, my accent, I'm from another country. And the more I talk, the more I come out. Sometimes I just go full patois. You know what I mean? So that's just what I'm trying to get at right now here. So go
Well,
ahead.
it's like the thing is, it's just communication, and so sometimes I feel just this is just in a playful manner. I feel that like I can get you. So that's when I was like, hold on, let me try it. And it's not even on a serious note. It's just that I think I can get her today.
You can get me
I
how?
could get you.
What you mean?
Like in any type of debate. Like I could get her.
I know you like to debate with me, huh?
Well, debates are better than argue.
I know.
So
I
we
know.
can debate all
I
day.
know. I
Arguing,
know.
nah.
You know,
We don't
sometimes
encourage arguing people.
sometimes our debates be good though, but sometimes I'll be like, you ain't gonna win this one.
I be winning.
No, I'll be
She
feeling
not gonna
like
I win.
no,
I
no,
win.
no. I'll be feeling like nah. He think because again I go to that a lot, like, and it's not an excuse. I'll be really feeling like you be taking advantage of, like telling me like that type of stuff, like nah, she from another country, she ain't know what she talking about.
No.
But
No. Well, no, you know what? I'll say it like this. And this is with all due respect to everybody that's of different ethnic backgrounds. Um, Again, we don't know everyone's walk of life. So it's just different for everybody. It's just that our playful humor with each other, I feel sometimes that I can get her. And I know that she knows what she's talking about. It's just, again, I just want you to approach it a different way as opposed to just this one way. It's like a map, the old school maps that a lot of people don't know nothing about because we put GPS and everything now. But even your GPS map has alternate routes to still get to the same location.
yeah.
Just use an alternate route.
Well, you should be open to using alternate routes too, because I think you'll be standing from, again, no offense to, to everyone out there listening, but I think sometimes that's one of the things you want to stand firm on. You know, I was going to say a name, but I'm not going to say the
Mhm.
name. But I think it's like you're in America, do America,
Mm,
be America, all
no.
America, about America. And then when you do that, you don't get the true me, because the true me has a Caribbean background.
Right.
That's my foundation.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why I love having conversation with people of different backgrounds. It's a big melting pot out here, so we're very diverse and we learn people. I embrace every culture that I walk across.
Even mine.
Even yours.
You went to my
Your island is named after me, so we're gonna
whatever.
stop right there. You know what?
What is my
But
island?
St. Christopher.
No, it's Saint Kitts and Nevis. Saint Kitts and Nevis. Okay. So you went to my country. How did you like that?
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I embraced everything. I mean, it was open arms. It's like as if I've been there before.
Okay. Did you learn anything about me when you went there that you didn't know before?
Ah, well, by me interacting with every from your native, it's just the warmth and how it's so closely knit in the community.
Mhm.
Like you could walk down any street and you knew a lot of people and a lot of people knew you. and then the historic backgrounds that you were able to still, that you hadn't been there for a while, you still remembered it like it was yesterday, and you were able to say, hey, here, 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 here. Um, and you just had a different type of look and aura about yourself when you got back down there. And it was good. It was good.
My
I
home.
enjoyed it.
It's my country, my birthplace,
Yeah.
my forever birthplace. So thank you for going there with me, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
I know you enjoyed Carnival, didn't
Yes.
you?
Well, certainly.
What did you enjoy about
It's
Carnival?
just the festivities, man. It's the festivities. For those that haven't
I'm
been,
gonna ask
for
you
those that
again.
haven't been, get down there.
I'm gonna ask you again.
You know.
What did you enjoy about Carnival?
You know, it was good music. And
Tell me what.
and it was the music and the costumes, the attire, and honestly, goodness truth, the camaraderie. Everybody was out there for one purpose, and that was just to enjoy. It wasn't altercations. It wasn't mayhem. Kids were able to be free and not have to do nothing, no worrying about, hey, where's this child at? Where's that child? Not like how it is out here. I had no worry or had spider senses up for danger.
Mm-hmm. Okay, as we're getting, I'm gonna let you off the hook in a little bit. We're getting closer to wrapping up. But I want to share something with you. So recently, my youngest son said to me, he told me that he said, you guys have a good dynamic. Your relationship is, I like that you both are still able to, you both have that sense of humor with each other, and the way he was saying it to me, he was amazed. And that's my child who has seen me through a lot of different things. And so for him to tell me that and show such respect for you, it warmed my heart. And I didn't tell you that because I was thinking in my head, I don't even know why he like him, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But he did say that, and that meant a lot to me. And so I do like that about our relationship. I do like the dynamic that we have, able to face difficulties and the imbalances, but still be able to just have that mutual effort. And again, that's what personal justice looks like in a relationship. And so, my last question to you before we wrap it up is, what do you need from me so that you don't get so overwhelmed with my career to a point where it interferes with our peace at home?
Take your time on what you do. Literally take your time. Try not to have it. It'll sound kind of bad because it is good to have multiple projects going,
Mm-hmm.
but try not to have multiple projects going to where they just consume you, and then you're flooded with a lot of time that you have to devote to everywhere, and then you're running out of battery life yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to sit back down and recharge so that you can administer the proper amount of energy to which one is more pertinent at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's how you get assistance, because then conversation, I can say, well, this one seems deemed to be more of importance. Let's tackle that one first.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it can wait a little bit.
Okay.
Then that gives you time to be able to enjoy life yourself. You're not a robot. You're a human being.
Okay. Appreciate that. Do you have any last questions for me?
No, not
Sure.
at this time.
This
Yes.
your this your ask now or forever hold your peace.
Look, I
This is it. Your last chance.
I already know. This is
your last chance.
This won't be the last time. So I know this won't be the last time. So
Okay.
we'll be all right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for braving it with me and stepping into this space with me and allowing yourself to be vulnerable with me to the people. But most importantly, I've said it throughout the time, but I wanted to, the questions were specific to exhibit what, again, personal justice looks like in a relationship.
Hmm.
And so even though I didn't explain that to you ahead of time, because I didn't want it to be scripted, I wanted to show the trueness of it.
Hmm.
And so that people who are viewing, people who are listening can see, get a good understanding of what I mean when I say personal justice. Because it's easy to understand what justice look like in terms of the law and the courtroom and all that stuff. But when it comes to behind closed doors, your relationships, what does it look like? So thank you again, Chris.
Thank you for
You'll
having
be
me.
back. I appreciate you,
Hmm.
appreciate your honesty, appreciate your answers. And to all the viewers, to all the listeners, thank you for joining us, for allowing us into your space and sharing our lives with you. And hopefully that you were able to take something from this podcast today, what we shared, that could be useful in your own relationships. I challenge you to now look into your own relationship and see what personal justice look like in your relationship. You can reach out to me. You can find me at nashibabazi.com, or you can find me on TikTok, Instagram. My name, Nashiba Bazi, and I will respond to you if you were to send me a message. And again, because of I believe so much in confidentiality, and I know sometimes people want to reach out via social medias and stuff. You make that private, even if you do, because again, your I take confidentiality very seriously. And so it's okay if you want to put it out there, but I ask you to send a direct message rather than asking a question where everyone can see. And if I don't respond right away, I will eventually. Again, thank you for, joining us today, allowing us into your space, and have a wonderful rest of the week. And we'll see you again next Wednesday for another episode of All That with Dr. B. Thank you.